Freaking Jim. Freaking right. John Schaefer with the Rock show. I think he's finishing the Warriors game. He's pretending like his roommates are being loud or something, but I don't know if the Warriors game's over or whatever's going on, but Jim will be here in a moment. So, John with you here on the wrap-up show. 4-3 Twins in 11. Padres muster 4 hits, and fall to 1 game over 500, nearing 1/4 of the way through the season. As you make your way in, please subscribe, as we always tell you. Please smash that like button for us, even following tonight's game. Please follow me on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell ST. We're going to get to all the supers. I think I see Carlos is here contributing already. Carlos, thank you, man. There's a lot to get into. We're going to start with Carlos's supers in a moment. If you'd like to become a member, click the join button. If you'd like to pick up some Padres merchandise, by the way, with Father's Day coming up, if you're looking for a gift for the Padres fan in your life, click the link that is pinned at the top of the chat. You'll get to Foco's Padres merchandise page, pick up something like this floral cap. So we'll get to that coming up. But, after last night, there's reasons for encouragement. You think about what Juan Soto did yesterday and today. Padres score 6 runs. Tonight, for a moment, it looked good when they were able to rally back from 2-0 down. But, I mean, you can't hit with men in scoring position again. They've been hitless with men in scoring position this year 13 times. That's completely inexplicable. And then 4 total hits. 4 total hits. You look up and down this box score, and it's tough to figure out. It's tough to figure out. And just the opportunities that were squandered in this game, whether it's the bases loaded spot there in extra innings or some of they had base runners in the first 6 innings. They had base runners in the first 6 innings and didn't score against Pablo Lopez, who's a quality starting pitcher, but this is the big leagues. I mean, you're going to face quality starting pitching each and every series, some series multiple times, some series 3 times or more. So frustrating. I mean, the offense has been inept at times. Every once in a while it'll awaken, but 4 hits in 11 innings in Minnesota, which is on an 80-degree night or whatever it was today. What was it today in Minnesota? Um, 77 degrees. I mean, come on. Got to muster more than that, especially behind Lugo, who is good. You go through everyone in your bullpen, and you come up on the wrong end of it. And all of a sudden, you look up, you're behind Arizona by a couple of games, you're behind the Dodgers by 3.5 games, and it's an important time. I know it's May, but it's an important time right now because you're going to LA this weekend, and at some point, you're gonna have to win a big series, and maybe it's this series. Maybe they win it tomorrow by taking Game 3. Maybe they go to LA and win it, but um, this team has question marks, and this team has work to do. So let's get right to it, starting with our buddy Carlos Mania. Carlos, my man, thank you for hanging out. Frustrating game, no question about it. So I'm going to start with Carlos's super. And again, if you want to contribute, click the $ sign below the chat box. As you know, we get to each and every super every single night. It is a great way to support the work we're doing here on the wrap up show. So Carlos says, okay, Soto's raking, but now Bogarts is a dead man batting. Is it too much to ask to have freaking consistency? Nola is still trash. Odor is literally unplayable. And Nola should be in Mexico by now. Obviously, the suicide from Nola in the 11th inning for whatever it's worth. I mean, I'm not going to convince you that Nola has provided value for this team. I don't think he has. Um, Bogarts is really mired in a bit of a rut. Was 1 for 4 tonight. Did walk to load the bases. Whenever that was, top of the 11th inning, right? I thought that was a good plate appearance. He has struggled. I mean, he was really good for the first 3 weeks of the season. He's come back to earth and then some. I think Juan Soto has passed him right now. In terms of really right now, last 2 weeks, Juan Soto is your most consistent hitter. Look at the last 11 games. Juan Soto what's he hitting? 400 in his last 11 games. Tatis has cooled off a little bit, did have a hit. In that, was it the 8th inning when they came back to tie the score? Tatis started that thing or was a part of that thing, which was encouraging. But I'm with you on Bogarts. The Odor thing, I don't understand. He's the 26th man on the roster, sitting 100. Uh, how do you explain it? I mean, the catching situation is bad. I mean, Sullivan, Nola, and Campusano when he comes back is just not a good combination. Maybe Campusano is able to contribute, but it was just, I'm with you, Carlos. I mean, the consistency is lacking. They'll have a day where they do get production out of 2 or 3 of these players. Machado yesterday, Soto yesterday, but today Machado's 0 for 4. Soto did contribute today. The home run, multiple walks, hit a ball hard early for a line out double play. So Soto's, I think playing as well as he's played in the Padres uniform over the last 10, 11, 12 games, the rest of this lineup, Tatis obviously has shown up at times here to start the year, but you got there's some problems, and I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't. I mean, what are we waiting for next week against the Kansas City Royals at home? But then what are we going to hear? Oh, it's hard to hit at Petco Park. Let me get to another super from Carlos. Thank you again, Carlos. Appreciate you hanging out tonight. Um, he says this thing won't let me curse, but don't even get me started. They're literally giving away wins. Different month, same problems, pathetic. I wanna say it's either the worst hitting team with men in scoring position or the second to worst. They're either 29th in hitting with men in scoring position or 30th. The thing with something like that is it can be something that extends beyond just a quarter of the season. I mean, if it's happened for a quarter of the season, what prevents it from happening for half the season or longer? There's something about clutch hitting that sometimes is like a year in, year out thing. A team can be clutch for a year, and it doesn't have that clutch gene. Same thing with players, where they can hit with men in scoring position one year, and that doesn't guarantee that they hit in men in scoring position another year. This is perplexing. 13 games without a hit with a man in scoring position this season is utter lunacy. 13 games out of what, 37? What's that pacing for? They're pacing to go 55 plus games without a hit with a man in scoring position? What? That's just ridiculous is what it is. So, they need to buck that trend immediately, and you're not gonna win with that combination. If it were like, "Yeah, they win when they score 3 runs." Well, not if they score 3 runs in 11 innings. I mean, you're not gonna win every night scoring 3 runs. I know the record's great, scoring 3 or more, but they're gonna need to score more than 3 a lot. Pitching was good here today, and, I think you gotta back your pitching when you're through 9 innings having allowed 2 runs. When Seth Lugo allows 2 runs in 6 innings, with this offense, with what they've invested in this offense, this $1 billion offense plus, I'm not saying every night you're gonna be able to score 6 runs, but it seems like every single night they're not capable of rallying and putting together crooked numbers or big innings or coming through in the clutch, and that really is troublesome and frustrating and will drive you, up a wall. Carlos, thank you again, man, for, the super. Guys, if you're here, please subscribe. Padres fall in 11 to the Twins 4-3. They'll play the rubber match on Thursday morning, and then they'll go to LA for a 3-game set against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Please subscribe. Again, smash the like button for us, and thank you for the supers. Click the dollar sign below the chat box. I'm told Jim will be here, and when he does, the mood will change a little bit on the wrap-up show because, Jim will be here. But, let me get to the super. He says, "It's so frustrating because our starting pitching has been great so far. I expect that to regress, and this offense has looked worse than the A's. Every game counts." I'm with you on every game counts. You know it, Carlos. I mean, what me and Jim do each and every day is to break down the game the way I think it should be broken down. I don't want to wait until August and say, "Oh, who cares? Who cares? The 6 teams make the playoffs in the National League. Why do we talk about this random game?" Because they all do matter. They all do count, and there's trend lines over the course of a season that you're weaving in and out of, and it's a lengthy, concerning trend, the lack of consistent hitting for this team. And I think that's fair to say, consistent hitting. They have hit. They have hit. There have been times they've hit. But consistently, it hasn't really been there. I mean, maybe there's a 3-game stretch in there where they do, but in terms of hitting for like a week, they really haven't had a week where they've just flat out hit. Maybe it comes and they have a 6-1 week or a 7-0 week. Maybe that's coming. But it doesn't feel like a formality. It doesn't feel like it's a guarantee. And then you hear the excuse, well, they've had a tough schedule. I mean, every team's going to have a tough schedule. Every team's playing every team. It's the universal schedule in baseball. Has the Padres schedule been more challenging than other teams in the National League? Who cares? I mean, what does that even mean? At the end of the day, their record is their record. Their standing is their standing in the National League West. And does it lighten up? I mean, arguably. So you get Kansas City for a 3-game series at home, but then you have a home series against the Red Sox. Then you're on the road for like 10 with the Nationals and Yankees and the Marlins. I mean, who knows? Who cares what the schedule is? This team is built to beat good teams. So I don't really want to hear about the schedule. Um, I don't think that's a reasonable excuse, to be honest with you, for the way they've played so far. JD Gacho, thanks, man, for hanging out, for your support of this channel, for your contributions, for listening to us on the radio. Really do appreciate it. He wants to know with the super chat, any concerns about Hader or back-to-back blown saves? I would say literally none. I think the blown save rule is stupid with the ghost runner. He struck out 3 batters in the inning and allowed a base hit. I mean, the blown save rule is dumb. Like, it's not an earned run, I understand it, like, but you're protecting a one-run lead with a runner at second and nobody out. The odds of a run scoring with a runner at second and nobody out is something like over 50%. Like, that run's gonna score something like 55% of the time, but we're gonna count that as a blown save, and I get it. It's Josh Hader. He's capable of getting out of that spot. He's gotten out of that spot a number of times, but that's it's hard for me to put any onus on a reliever that allows a push run to score. Now, when additional runs score, that's I'm all for, the accountability, but, like, I don't know. I get it's Josh Hader. He's as good of a reliever or closer as there is in baseball, but to put it on Hader for what happened here tonight, I can't do. I have to put it on the offense, their inability to hit in the clutch, their inability to take advantage of base runners in the first 6 innings, and, there's some tough luck in there. First inning, the double play, the ridiculous Joey Gallo double play. I don't know if he caught that. We were on the air at the time. It looked like it was maybe trapped or off the ground. The Juan Soto 105-mile-per-hour bullet that was a line drive double play. I mean, there's some bad luck in there. That there's something to be said for that tonight, to be honest and to be fair. You play 10 times over, the Gallo ball drops in, the Soto ball ends up in right field. You probably do muster another run, 2, 3, who knows, maybe more than that. But the results are the results, and they scored 2 runs, and it's not good enough. They scored 3 runs because of extra, and it wasn't good enough, but I'm not gonna put it on Hader. And the other blown save, I mean, credit Betts. I mean, you're talking about a Hall of Fame caliber player in the prime of his career that's done that previously, that's one of the best players in baseball, and, I think that's more of a credit to Betts than it is a disservice or, like, a discredit to Josh Hader. Alright, let me get back to the supers here, and our buddy Carlos, who says the Dodgers are on a roll, blowing out opponents and winning series they should. I'm just scared that when we click it, it'll be too late, and we'll play for a wild card. Well, here's the good news, everyone. Here's the good news. It's far from that right now. Now the Dodgers are capable of going on those runs where all of a sudden you blink and everything's out of reach. I thought that happened last year. Whenever it was it June? Maybe the second half of June. Padres for the first couple of months, well, they got off to the best start in franchise history. For a couple of months, Padres were even, if not ahead of the Dodgers. But then, like, in a New York minute, the Dodgers were 10 games up. And once a team as good as LA is 10 games up, it's one thing if it's like Arizona builds a 10-game lead and you still say, "Well, that's not gonna be easy," but it's at least something you can envision overcoming. Giants somehow get out to a 10-game lead. You could say, "Okay, well, they're not in familiar territory. Maybe at some point in the season, they're gonna go through a rut. Maybe, you know, the Padres can win a series and get back into it, make up some ground in the division." Dodgers get out to a 10-game divisional lead. Give me a break. I mean, who in this chat right now believes that if the Dodgers have a 10-game divisional lead at any point this year, they'll be caught? That's really hard to envision. Not to say that it's impossible, but it's hard to envision, and then they stretched it out to 15 last year and 20, and the thing's obviously over. Now, we're not at that point, but then again, we're very early in the season. Right now, it's a 3.5 game difference between the Padres and the Dodgers. That's why I would say it's important this weekend because, you got you got a swing here where you win 2 out of 3, you're staying within 2, 3 games, you lose 2 out of 3, all of a sudden you can find yourself in that 5-game range. Again, not the end of the world in the middle of May, but with a team like the Dodgers that's capable of rattling off 14 of 17 or whatever they can do, you go 500, they go 14 to 3, and all of a sudden it's out of reach. So that's not what anyone envisioned or forecasted to start the year, and that hasn't happened, but it's capable of occurring if the Padres don't play better baseball. And now I think they've played better with Tatis. I mean, I know they've played better with Tatis. They had a 9 and 4 13-game stretch, San Diego did. We need to see it again. We need to see it more consistently, and until this team is, like, 8 games over 500, you're gonna be worried about their ability to fall back to 500. So at some point, they're gonna have to stretch it out to get 6, 7, 8 over, and they have time to do it. But Carlos's point is valid that, I think if the Dodgers get out to a 10-game lead, it doesn't matter what the Padres do from there on out. They're going to be hard to catch. Again, we saw what happened last year in the postseason. It's not impossible to envision the Padres as a wild card team making a run in the postseason, being healthy at the right time, having the talent to pull that off. But again, I mean, what's the better path? It's winning the division is the better path. You could get a bye, and you put yourself in a better position to potentially, get deeper into the postseason, return to a national championship series, get to a World Series for the first time, since 1998. So, yeah, I think it's a very legitimate concern of Carlos. I really do. Um, as I'm a one man band right now, because who the hell knows what Jim is doing? If you have a comment you want to make sure I see, because it's literally impossible for me to keep up with the chat, please make sure to contribute with the super. I will get to the supers because those pop up separately for me. If I miss a super, please let me know as well. But again, if you want to make sure I get your comment here tonight, like the comments from JD Gaucho, Carlos, and others, just click the dollar sign. It's below the chat box. I will get to all of the supers here tonight. We appreciate you hanging out with us here on this Wednesday evening with the Twins, who have had a nice year. They have their starting pitching has been as good as the Padres. It's been one of the surprises in baseball. I think they've thrown more innings than any rotation in baseball this year. I like Pablo Lopez. He was good enough tonight. I think the Padres had opportunities to do way more than they did, other than the Juan Soto solo home run. Um, in terms of the good, and I do think we should mention what Soto is doing here. And I know you look at the box score and say, "Well, he's 1 for 3 with 2 walks." Well, that's a good night. I mean, when you homer and you reach base safely 3 times and the team 3 runs and you're responsible for, a bulk of this offense. Now, I know he had a chance to come through there in the ninth inning, I wanna say, or when was it? The eighth inning in a 2-2 game, didn't convert. He lined the ball out sharply for his other, put out in this game or other out in this game. Soto is really finally, first of all, hitting the ball to all fields. Um, again, not just reaching via the walk, but also getting on base, doubled yesterday, 4 for 4 overall. I mean, he's playing good baseball. I think I just looked it up tonight. I think he's 7th in the National League in on base percentage. He's top 20-ish in OPS in the National League. So despite all of the struggles, and we've all seen it play out, he's like, the 20th most effective offensive player in the National League. Again, you're asking him to be much better than that, making that trade. You hope he's a top 3 player in the National League, but he shot up quickly over the last 10 days. Hopefully continues for another 10 days, and all of a sudden you're looking at one of the top, handful of players in the National League. I understand if you don't wanna say he's turned a corner because you've seen this play out over parts of 2 years, and you're concerned about his ability to hit consistently as well or reach consistently. But I think now over the last 10 or 11 games, he's consistently been a lot better, and I think something has clicked here for Juan Soto that's working, and hopefully that continues not just through tomorrow, but really that Dodgers series because he didn't play well in that first Dodgers series. If he can be a difference maker in that series, if he can have a series like this weekend, 5, 6 hits, reach base 8, 9 times, right, really change the complexion of a game or series. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for. Um, so we'll see if that happens or not. Listen, I understand the frustration, like Trevor, who's here in the chat. Um, I'm with you. I really am. I cannot. If I could figure it out, then they'd be paying me to manage. If Bob Melvin could figure it out, I think they would have done it before 37 games, if I'm being honest. I said it at the start of the trip. If they don't play well in the trip and they go 2 and 4, you got 2 problems. A, the Dodgers are creating separation because you went 2 and 4, which means you're losing against them, and all of a sudden you're 4, 5, 6 out. And then B, you're under 500 at the 1/4 point of your season, which of course can be overcome, and 120 games remaining is more than 40 having been played. But 40 is a trend. 40 is enough of a sample size. We can stop messing around with the sample size. The sample size is legitimate now, right? We have like, like in voting when they're like X percent of the precincts are reporting. This ain't 2%. This isn't 2% of the state of Pennsylvania. We're getting some percent, right? Philly's reporting. Okay, we're getting Pittsburgh's reporting. Okay, we're getting a feel for what's going on. Um, this isn't some mirage. These count just like they're gonna count in August and September, and, at the end of the road trip, I think you look at the team and you grade and you assess and say, "Hey, listen, we've seen a quarter of the games this year. Padres fans have seen a quarter of the game. What is this team? What's their DNA? What's their makeup? What's their calling card? How are they gonna beat good teams consistently?" Um, and I think right now we can say, well, the starting pitching has a chance to be pretty good. and, I think the bullpen has performed pretty well considering the situation, like, not having Robert Suarez this year, having some new faces in that bullpen as well, moving Nick Martinez from the rotation to the bullpen, and then the offense should fall out of bed scoring 3.5 runs. I mean, who disagrees with that? I don't care about but they play at Petco Park, who cares? The offense should fall out of bed pushing 4 runs per game. I mean, that's doing nothing. They should be scoring they should have a lot of nights where they're scoring 6 plus runs. I mean, I don't see any other way to look at it. I mean, your top 5, including Cronenworth, and then even into your DH spot with the Carpenters and the Cruzes, and, they've had highs and lows. And then 7, 8, 9, you have to get some level of contribution. I don't think you can have black holes even with superstars on your team. They gotta get more production out of catcher. They need to get more, production offensively out of Trent Grisham, I think. But, I mean, come on, Tatis, Cronenworth, Machado, Soto, Bogaerts, you gotta fall out of bed scoring 3 runs plus per game. I mean, unless you're facing the best pitcher in baseball, I'll give you a game or 2, that's fine, but every night you can't score, doesn't make any sense. Jake, thanks, man, for hanging out. Thank you for your membership and your super. If you'd like to become a member where you get the emojis and the badges, you can click join down below. If you'd like to contribute to Super Chat, click the dollar sign down below. Padres lose today in Minneapolis 4-3 to the Twins. Series even at the game apiece, rubber match tomorrow morning before the Padres go to LA. They will get the Dodgers. Jake, with runners in scoring position trash, Odor's got to go. Machado not himself, question mark hurt. What's the fix? I mean, listen, if I had the fix, this would be quite the channel, right? I mean, I wish we had the fix. I mean, we'll talk about it until we're blue in the face, and we come up with suggestions and ideas, and I think that's why a lot of people are here night in and night out. Machado, you know, I'm just looking up his numbers right now. I'm just pulling it up. He's 0 for 4 tonight. He's coming off a night where he's really good, homered, 2 hits, 2 fine defensive plays, but you're through tonight, his OPS is under 700. That's like, wait, what? Career 830 OPS guy, so way underperforming career numbers. Again, there's plenty of time for Machado, and you might say, "Well, he's been better recently," and I'm looking at it. His last 7 games, he's hit 300. His OPS, even his last 7 games, that small sample size, is still under 800, so he just has not hit for any power, by and large. I mean, I say that he's hit 5 home runs, but, I mean, you're a quarter of the way through the season, so, you're thinking that Manny Machado's gonna hit more than 20 home runs, and he will, by the way. I think if he's able to stay on field, which he always does, then he will hit more than 20 home runs. I don't know if he's I think he is. He's making fine defensive plays. He's impacting the game. He's hit recently, so I do believe he's healthy. I don't think he right now is the same player that we saw a year ago, and that's not the first example of a player that has a great year and then has a disappointing year, and hopefully it's not a disappointing year, it's more of a disappointing, 6 weeks, but, um, Machado a year ago makes him go. When you finish 2nd in the MVP voting and you put the Padres in position to make the postseason and compete, so, he does make them tick. Jim's talked about this. For me, it's Tatis that makes him tick, but I see what others say, and I see what Jim says, how Tatis is more of a spark plug, but Machado's that consistent contributor that you need day in, day out, the difference between winning and losing. And I buy that, and, if you think about if you wanna say that the Padres have an average this year, which might be being kind, well, the Padres go as Machado goes because Machado's been average, and that might be being kind. So you got an average team and an average superstar, and that is the reason why maybe this team it's oversimplifying, obviously, but, maybe that's the reason why you got a team that's off to this start that's disappointing. I mean, considering the expectations, this is a really disappointing start, and, you might get your Padres content from other sources and different radio stations and different shows and however you consume Padres baseball. You know, I think there are some that are gonna try to sell you this bill of goods that it's early, it's early, it's early, but what does that really mean? I mean, what does early have to do with change, and what does late have to do? If the team performs like this is the team that they are, Now, do I believe they're capable of performing better than this? Yeah, I do. But early late alone doesn't justify anything. This being early doesn't justify their play. It's early for Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Tampa, and they're playing better. So, I don't know, I think that's an excuse. We can say early after 6 games. I mean, I'm not gonna get carried away off a 2 and 4 overall start, but I'm not gonna get carried away off a team that's a game over 500, but the whole, "Well, it's early," and, is it? And what does that even mean? Um, so because it's early, they're not good, and because it's late, they are good? Why? Because that happened to work out last year? That didn't even work out last year. They were good early last year, and they weren't good late last year. They haven't been good late, truthfully, in years. Think about it. 2020, they were, they had the injuries going into the postseason. 2021, wheels fell off late. 2022, they didn't get going until 2 weeks were left in the season. And Bob Melvin's, like, flipping tables in the clubhouse in Arizona. That's what got him going late in the season a year ago. So the whole early dynamic and, "Oh, they're capable of playing better and, they're gonna turn it on at some point," is all possible. I mean, it's a 162 game season, but I don't think you just discount everything because it's quote unquote "early in the season." All right, guys, as I always tell you, um, really appreciate your support of our partners, right? I mean, we can't do this without the support of our viewers and our partners, like our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. You can see him right now on the screen. Great insurance agent. I think a lot of you in the chat here live or on replay have Mark as your insurance agent. How do I know that? Because I talked to Mark and he says, "Hey, wrap-up show viewers are incredible. I love working with Padres fans. I love saving your viewers money on their insurance." And that's exactly what Mark does. I mean, he is here to save you money on your insurance. He's here to build a community with Padres fans, right? Just like we're doing here on the wrap-up show. He is a great insurance agent. Take it from me because I've had my homeowner's insurance, my earthquake insurance through Mark for 2 years, and I've had a life insurance policy with Mark since maybe the beginning of the year, and he saved my family literally hundreds of dollars. He can save you $750 just by switching your insurance, and everyone could save money, right? Everyone wants to save $750 or more, and it's whatever it is, right? The link is in the description down below, but auto, home, business, life, condo, renters, free quotes online, free quotes if you call Mark. And he's a San Diegan and a lifelong Padres fan. He loves this team. He loves this channel. He loves our community. So, a good way to support him is the next time you have a renewal, just call Mark. He doesn't bite, I promise. Call Mark, get in contact with Mark, get a quote online, talk to you about the Padres. He'll save you money on your insurance. So, again, thank you guys for hanging out as always, day in and day out. And thank you for your support of our partners on the wrap up show, including Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Well, yeah, I don't know the update on Jim. The Warriors presumably won, correct? I haven't seen a final score. I saw they were up 10 or 11 with, like, 3 minutes left, so I'm assuming the Warriors won. Can someone confirm that for me in the chat? Warriors won, right? Um, the update is, let's see, he says his roommates because remember, it's not just him and Aaron. They've got roommates, which I think they, like, are great friends with, but I think his roommates are, like, doing karaoke or something. So and he does the wrap-up show now from, like, that main, like, living room. He doesn't do it from Aaron's room. He's got the sign behind him, the wrap-up show sign. So, bear with us. See if we can get Jim in here. I think we'll get him in at some point. But I don't think he's crying in a corner. He would be, trust me, he would be if the Warriors lost here tonight, but since the Warriors did win by 15 points tonight, um, I think he's probably celebrating in the corner, to be honest with you. Um, great point here from Chad. Great point here from Chad. Um, yeah, I mean, I remember this too. Last year, they won a lot of 50-50 games. They were really good with the ghost runner. They really were. I mean, it was think about that. I mean, they're 7 games over 500 last year in extra innings. What was their total record? 89 and 73, so 16 over, but 7 of that came in extra innings. Let's say you spun that 12 and 5 to 5 and 12, then the Padres last year would have won 82 games and would have missed out in the postseason. Think about that. Think how the margins, right? Game of the inches stuff. I mean, as crazy as that is, you play 162 games. Those are coin flips. Those are coin flips. And if Padres a year ago were 5 and 12 in extra innings, they're out of the postseason. And this year, they're in danger of going 5 and 12 in the postseason. How do we know that? Because they're on 4. So even if they play better than this, 5-8 in their next 13 games or 5-12, um, you know, this year, and there's some randomness to one-run games occasionally. You like to think good relief pitching, a closer like Josh Hader, clutch hitting. You like to think you can be good in one-run games. I don't know the Padres' record right now in one-run games. Presumably, it's at least half decent even with the 0-4 because of Hader. But again, usually teams that are good in close games come up with clutch hits and win in extra innings and have good closers. So this team is lacking 2 of those 3 components, right? They're not good in extra innings, and they lack the clutch hitting gene. They do have an excellent closer in Josh Hader, and I'm willing to completely forgive Mookie Betts Sunday Night Baseball, and I'm willing to completely forgive tonight the ghost runner, because protecting one-run lead with a ghost runner, you're not gonna be perfect in those spots. It's gonna happen again. Hopefully, he can get his lion's share of those. I think he gets 65% of those, protect a one-run lead with a ghost runner, you're doing work. So, I Hader's fine. He's more than fine, but that's a concern, Chad, and that's a concern, Padres fans, that a year ago, good in close games, late, and in extras. This year, that has not been the case. There was an interesting comment I wanted to get to that I'm trying to find my way through. But this is a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I would ask if you wouldn't mind, seriously, clicking the link down below in the description and just shoot him a quick email and say, "Hey, Mark, appreciate your support of the channel. I'm here watching, and do you do anything in other states?" It's a great point. We have a lot of viewers, obviously, outside the state of California, Padres fans, that are all around the country, shoot the world. We got people in Mexico, Korea, other parts of Asia, Europe that we can see through the analytics. So that's a really good point, Brett. Um, Murray, thank you, man. He says, John, how about someone in the Padres organization calls that a superstar? Are they above criticism? I think within the organization, it's a little bit of a trickier proposition. You're thinking about the now and you're thinking about the future. You got players that, um, I mean, it's hard to envision the Peter Seidlers and the AJ Prellers being critical of Manny Machado off a slow start. That's not going to happen, even though he's locked up. Um, could they be critical of Juan Soto? Again, you're talking about a guy that you might be hoping to sign to an extension at some point, or when he hits free agency, maybe you want to retain. It's just trickier when you're in the organization. I mean, you're in the organization. So, the messaging comes from the organization, right? They're not the media. I mean, they should only be telling their side of the story. They don't need to really be in that space, to be honest. They're not in the business of criticizing anything if they don't have to. I guess if they're put in a spot, like if the Padres fall 12 games under 500, and Manny Machado's hitting 189, then someone's gonna have to speak on that disaster, whether it's Melvin, whether it's Preller, whether it's Seidler. Now, Melvin, to his credit, I think is pretty honest. I really do. I think he's pretty honest. Did I tweet, by the way? I didn't. I didn't even tweet that we're on the air right now. Let me do that real quick. Let me tweet it out and, make sure people know that we're on the air right now on the wrap-up show. Guys, if you're here, and again, one-man band, appreciate the support, subscribe. We're here for Padres fans, good nights and bad nights, in season and out of season, so please subscribe. Really appreciate your, smashing the like button for us, and do appreciate the super chats as well. Just click the dollar sign below the chat box. Really do appreciate your support of the channels. The Padres, again, losing 11 today to the Twins, 4-3. All right, let's see here what's going on. Yeah, thanks, Faye. Thanks, Faye. Always appreciate I see so many familiar faces and names day in and day out. Fays, I'm gonna leave people out, the Chads, the Pedros, the JD Gauchos. I mean, so many of these names that we see each and every night. Chango Surfo has been hanging out here recently, as well. So if you are here, whether it's live or on replay, we really do appreciate it. Um, let's see if I'm Yeah, again, I mean, there's a long way between starting 19 and 18 and not being a playoff caliber team. I don't think we're anywhere near that conversation. I'm not in the business of having that conversation. Um, and again, a year ago, they played 500 baseball for 4 months, but they had the first 6 or 7 weeks where they got off to that great start and they built whatever it was. I mean, they were 15 over probably 2 months into the season. Then there was the 4 months they middled, they might have been under 500. They eventually turned it on late in the year. I'm not at any point where I'm saying, "Hey, this team jeopardy of missing out. Now, you get into August, September. Last year, we were having those conversations. You have to. It's August and September, and you're clinging. You're up a game, you're down a game. You're up 2 games, you're down 2 games. I'm not worried about that. We can get to Memorial Day, and we can do a autopsy on the first 8 weeks. We get to July 4th, and we can say, "Here's where they are just past the turn." And at some point, you're gonna get into, the second half of July, and you're gonna say, "Hey, what is this team? Where are they? And what do they need to accomplish?" But nowhere near that. The postseason has changed so drastically in baseball, with 6 of the 15 teams in the National League making the postseason. They're 1 good week away from being one of the better teams in the National League, but they're 1 bad week away from being 2 or 3 games under 500 again. So, yeah, I mean, that would be ridiculously disappointing. Of course, 2021, Peter Seidler said it was a 1 in a 100-year collapse, so we don't wanna see a 1 in a 100-year collapse 2 out of 3 years, obviously, if we're Padres fans. Pedro, thank you for being here. He says, "Last year" I'm trying to follow here. "Last year, we had the faith of Tatis coming back and Soto joined the team. This year is different, John." Because what? Because everyone's here, like, all on deck, and you're still not seeing the results you were hoping for? Is that basically where you're going with this, Pedro? I would say we should give it more time with Tatis. I think we should. Shout out June and John, by the way. Has anyone ever been over to their tasting room? Centrally located, great spot. Um, if you like kombucha like me, check it out. See Pedro following up. Yeah, I think that's understandable, Pedro. Yeah, I get that point. Right, you didn't have Soto until 60 games, so you're thinking, "Look at 160 of them, it's gonna look different." You didn't have Tatis a year ago, so you're thinking, "Oh, it's gonna look different with Tatis." Look what the cat drug in. Bro,
Sup?
what give us the story. You can't just show up all, you know, drunk. What's the deal?
Don't worry about it.
You're not gonna share with the viewers who are here for you every single night?
I'm here.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. He's here. He's here. We do appreciate it. Um, there's some pissed off people. There's some disappointed people. There's
But
not,
tonight,
nobody's jumping. But I mean, it's same thing. Can't hit with men in scoring position. Can't score. No clutch hitting. 13 times this year without a hit with men in scoring position.
yeah, that's how many games have they played?
37. Over 1 out of every 3.
Yeah,
They've had 0 hits with men in scoring position.
it's same old, same old. Can't keep doing that. I mean, come on. I mean, we talk about like the problems with this team, and we talk about the players a lot. We talk about Soto and Manny, but the one thing that is the constant problem, and it's the entire lineup, is they can't hit with runners in scoring position. If this team is not going to be able to, if this team is not going to hit with runners in scoring position this year, it's going to be win 3, lose 2.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly right.
And you're just going to be in a constant cycle of they look great, they look like shit. They look great, they look like shit. And they're not going to be able to be consistent. And by consistent, I mean get to 15 games over 500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's spot on. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. You look at a game like today. Again, if there's something that's really super encouraging, it's Juan Soto. And there ain't going to be no stretch where Juan Soto gets on base 60% of the time and the team just doesn't play well. And like for 10 or 11 games, he is always on base and he's hitting, homered, ripped that ball through the right side. There was a line out double play, walk 2 times. I mean, yesterday 4 for 4. Before the Dodgers series, 6 really good games. So like that's huge. I mean, beyond huge. Now you'd like to see it result in wins when he homers. When they homer, they got to win. But tonight that doesn't happen. But I mean, the Juan Soto thing is at least really encouraging.
It is. He again stays hot with the home run, the 2 walks tonight. Darnay Tripp was like, he didn't hit an opposite field home run, so doesn't count. That was pretty funny on social media. Yeah, he's like, he didn't hit it straight away center. That didn't count. So he is definitely he's fully hot. He's on fire. 19 left on base tonight.
No, that's not right. You're looking at the left on individually, right? There's no way.
Or left on individually. Sorry,
Yeah, that's not real.
8 were left on tonight.
Yeah.
But a lot of everybody on this team had chances to get runs home because everybody had somebody on base.
Yeah,
once
everyone.
tonight, and they don't get it done again. It's happening, and they scored 3 runs tonight, and they lost actually, which was
They scored 3 runs in 11 innings, and they have runners placed at second base by the gift of baseball gods.
I know.
You know what I mean?
But still, the stat is they were 18-3 when they have scored 3 runs or more, and they lost tonight.
Yeah, the problem is 3 is going to make it tight. You know what I mean? The problem is the longer we get going here,
you can't win games all the time 3-1 or 3-2.
And then there was some criticism earlier. There were a couple of people asking about, hey, is there concern with Hader, the Betts home run, the quote unquote blown save today? I'm like, come on. There's a runner at second in a 1-run game.
He struck out the side.
And he gave up a hit. He gave up a single. Okay. I mean, you give up a single in an inning, and that's your responsibility. Like, come on.
Yeah, and then he had to walk in there, and then he struck out the side. So I'm still riding with Hader no matter what. You tell me that Hader's in the game tonight with a chance to save.
Yeah. Oh, you'll take that. No, they were well positioned. I mean, to come back from 2-0 down, honestly, was quasi impressive. It's Pablo Lopez. I'm thinking the game's over. 7th inning, you're down 2-0. Soto homers.
Mhm.
You had a nice rally in the 8th inning where you wish you did more than just scratch across a run. You do push across the run with the suicide squeeze in the 10th inning. I mean, you feel good about the way you're playing late in the game, and then you can't hold it in the 10th inning, and then the 11th inning is the 11th inning. Once you don't score in the top of the inning, you're asking for trouble, and that's exactly what happened. All right, a couple of things while Jim is here. I've got a link pinned at the top of the chat for our friends at FOCO. So the pinned link will get you to the Padres merch page for FOCO, where you can pick up items for the Padre fan in your life, for Father's Day, for birthdays, men and women. If you got a Padres fan in your life, you can pick up like the floral straw cap. But wait, Jim, there's more. Now, Jim didn't. There's a funny story on this. Okay, we got the Padres swim trunks. Okay,
they're too short for me.
Yeah, Jim immediately was like, I can't wear them. They're too short. I'm like, bro, they're not. I mean, this isn't a Speedo.
John, put those things on. You know how short they are?
Well, this is a large. You had a medium.
Oh, maybe different.
So the large, I mean, this ain't tiny. Are you looking at the way like men wear swim trunks these days? They're not wearing like, it's not the freaking Michigan, 89 team. It's not the Fab 5, 91 team. Nobody's wearing them to like their ankles.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if you want these for the summer's coming. 6 weeks out, Jim. Get that beach bod ready.
What? Oh, it's
FOCO's
ready.
got swim trunks for you. They got button-up floral shirts. They got straw caps. They got stuff for men and women. If you support the channel, click the link. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Pick something up for the summer. Pick something up for Father's Day, birthdays, the Padres fan in your life. Yes, EB, and happy Mother's Day early. A little early on a Wednesday, but it's coming.
It's this week. Remember, get something for your mother.
Yeah,
get something for your mother.
Cap.
Get her some swim trunks.
Get her swim trunks. I don't know if women are really wearing these. This is probably more of a male item.
Yeah, probably.
Would be my guess.
You're probably right.
Some funny comments in here.
It's okay to hang out some balls, Jim. Maybe hanging.
Wait, JD's third. What are we talking about here? We act like Hader was good. We're talking about tonight?
Bailed out how?
How do you follow up, JD? Follow up on that, because I'm not following you there.
I mean, it's a fake run that he allowed.
Correct. It's a blown save, but it's not earned.
And he struck out the side, and he gave up a walk in there, but congratulations, Chad.
Clap emojis in the chat for Chad, wife.
Awesome.
Chad,
Jesus Christ throws up the giant congratulations.
Wow.
Dude, you got the blessing from Jesus. You're good to go, Chad.
Chad, what are you naming this child?
John or
share
Jim.
it right now on the wrap-up show. Is this right? Is this right? Today's Mexican Mother's Day. I see this from EB. I see it from Jesus, this different Jesus. We have 2 Jesuses here tonight.
Like Jesus?
Yeah. Okay. I like it. All right. Well, happy Mother's Day. I like that a lot.
Perfect.
Wait, 2 Twins hitters swung at balls for the JD. I mean,
What?
So what do you want Josh Hader to apologize?
Sorry for swinging at pitches.
That's the thing. He has good stuff.
Yeah. The reason why
So
they swung at balls because they're good pitches.
he gave up a hit. I mean, this is not on Josh Hader tonight.
This is on
the offense. They had runners on base in the first 6 innings off Pablo Lopez and didn't score. Now, there was some unluckiness in there. We talked about Jim. We were watching today. There were some dumb plays. The freaking Gallo playing left is ridiculous. That's a 1 in a 200 game play.
The rocket off Soto's bat.
Yeah, exactly. So there's you got unlucky a little bit, See, I couldn't find this. Okay, I hear you. I mean,
but he struck
I
out
don't know
the
what to say. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, sorry, JD third. I don't know,
He
man.
became a run scored. Run wouldn't have scored. Guess what? If Pablo Lopez was pitching every inning with a runner at second base, runs would have scored too. And same thing against Seth Lugo, but they weren't. But I understand the expectations for Hader are high. But when ghost runners score, that's hard to pin it on the reliever. JD Gacha, thank you for the super. Were you stunned more by Nola's RBI suicide or by Green's 20 points?
I texted you after the Nola RBI, and I said,
"You're like, didn't I say I was going to cut him yesterday?"
Yeah, I was like, he needs to be cut. They should release him right now once Luis Campusano comes back. You're welcome, everybody. And then he had a huge RBI tonight in the game.
Huge.
Almost.
Would you extend him now, or do you wait till the end of the season?
Do you contemplate who do you give the $400 million contract to, Soto or Nola? What if a baseball team one day just said fuck it and they just gave like $200 million like their worst player?
What is going on right now, guys, in the chat? I need to pull these up. What are we talking? Cliff, thank you for your membership. Hader not in his prime, but still really good. He's not? Hader's not in his prime right now? Hader's got a 1 ERA and he's 29. I mean, he's in his prime.
Yeah, he's blown back-to-back saves, but the Dodger game, I just don't have much of a problem with it because you got beat by their best player. And tonight, yeah, you wish that Hader could have gotten out of that, but
I agree.
I mean, he limited it to 1 run, and guess what? The Padres didn't score the following half inning. So, I mean, got to score there.
There's this side of it. I mean, this is interesting from right back, and thank you for the super. It says Padres had grade ABs against a tough starter. Interesting way to look at it. I mean, they didn't score until Soto's home run. They had base runners all night long. They drew walks all night long. They had 4 hits in 11 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When a team continues to go over with runners in scoring position and you have 4 hits on the night, you could label some of it to bad luck. I get it. I'm just past the point of good at bats, good effort. Like I'm just not there with this team, and I won't be there with the team for the rest of the season because the expectations are extremely high, and they should be way better on offense than this.
And run it back. Thank you for the super. And Cliff, thank you, because I'm not reading in the chat. I'm probably misconstruing it based on the one comment. So yeah, I'm with you. I mean, and by the way, I was anti-Hader last year the first month. I'm like, I'll admit it. I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, I thought the guy was completely lost. So it's not that I understand, honestly, the sentiment. If you want to say that, you're expecting the best reliever in baseball and you haven't gotten that the last 2 outings. Okay. Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
He gave up a home run to Mookie Betts and he gave up a ghost run tonight.
That's what I would say. That's my point. I'm like,
he gave up.
Yeah, that's my point. But I understand what you're saying. Cliff saying he's into him. I think most Padres fans. The thing is, the reason I say I think he's in his prime, they're going to extend him out. They want to extend him out. I mean, they're not concerned about his age. They're not concerned about any torque on his arm or what he's done so far in his career. So, you take your chances with Josh Hader. While we have a moment, let's get to our friends at Aura, okay? We've already told you about Mark Nimitz. Our friends at Aura, guys, if you're looking to get healthier, this is a great gift, by the way, for Mother's or Father's Day. It really is, because you're talking about plant-based nutritional products, which can benefit everyone in your life. And if you use promo code MOMDAY23, and that promo ends tomorrow, you're going to get 20% off. So you can use promo code MOMDAY23, get 20% off. I've been taking their probiotic, and now my wife is as well. I told you that last night. So we're both taking their probiotic. It's a great product. In fact, Kristen really swears by it. She's never taken a probiotic before in her life, and she's taken it probably for 10 days now. And she's been hyping this thing up. She's really been hyping this thing up. So she's now a believer. I've been taking probiotics for years. I've been taking the Aura probiotic for 2 years. I'm a huge believer in it. They've got pre-workout supplements, proteins for after workouts. They have omega-3 oils if you take a fish oil. They have sleep pills. They have immunity pills. They have something for everyone. Go to ora.organic or click the link that's in the description down below on YouTube. And again, save 20% using promo code MOMDAY23. We love this company. They're founded by their co-founder, Will, is a San Diego, and they have offices right here in Liberty Station. And again, if you're looking to get healthier, this is a great gift idea. You can go to ora.organic.
Yeah, go there right now. Pick up some supplements. It's all plant-based, organic, healthiest on the market. Support Will. He's a San Diegan, lifelong Padres fan. Lives and dies Padres baseball, like everyone in the chat right now. So pick up some of his supplements. Use the promo code MOMDAY23. That's MOMDAY23, and you'll thank us later.
That's a good question from Chad. If someone told you they were 19 and 18 out of the gates, what would you say? I think you'd say underwhelming.
If you told me at the start of the season they're going to start 19 and 18, I would have said either the pitching sucks or the offense sucks.
And you would have been right.
One or the other. It's hard to be 19 and 18 with both sucking, but if you have one of those things sucking, you're a 500 team. And I probably would not have guessed the offense was going to be this bad.
How could you have? Although I got to remember this for eternity. They just can't hit to start a year. I mean, this is a constant routine. This is a constant.
Same thing every single year with this franchise. Well, not franchise, but the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you fix Nola and/or Odor?
Dude,
he's been trying.
Odor is not fixable. I'm sorry. No. And I'm not going to give my time to Odor.
Why is he here?
I just was like, he started tonight. I'm like, wait, he's still on the team?
I know.
And Nola, I mean, come on. There's no reason why. There's no reason to get upset.
No.
Over those two guys. It's just not. Soto, on the other hand, you can get upset because he's expected to produce and he's expected to be an impact player. But Nolan or Odor, just don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy.
And yeah, I mean, okay, 1918, top 3 payroll, top 3 attendance. Yeah. That doesn't sit very well. Now, again, if you buried yourself, no. You're not, you're not better, Cardinals.
You gotta be better.
Yeah.
Just be better. I'm not going to go on a rant and yell and scream and take my shirt off, but be better, guys.
I think the reason why Nola is still the starting catcher is what options do they have?
Is Luis Campusano getting his arm amputated?
I know.
What's going on?
Dude, I thought it was a thumb sprain. Come on, this is the major leagues. Was it a break? If it's a break, okay.
But if it was a break, do you think we would know? Probably not.
I don't know. It's a good question.
But he got hurt, what? 4 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah, at least. At least. Yeah, it was the second week of the season. Yeah, probably 4 weeks ago.
You have injuries on this team, and then all of a sudden they're out for 2 months. And you're like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
I would be shocked if we see Robert Suarez this year. I'd be shocked if we see Drew Pomeranz this year. Who the hell knows when Luis Campusano's coming back? And then when he does come back, is he even going to get enough playing time?
Right. And what does he look like with all this time off?
I mean, just who the hell knows with a lot of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, the catching situation is just flat out bad. And I don't have the solution. I don't have the answers. I don't think it's fixable right now. And I don't think you need to get crazy offensive production out of your catcher, but you need to get more than they've gotten, which is nothing. They've gotten some sack bunts and some suicide squeezes. Nice. That's fine. Again, the Nola situation could have been pretty important tonight. The Nola suicide could have been the difference tonight. It wasn't. But, I mean, they've just vastly underperformed. They bought high on Nola. He had a nice 2 weeks or something in Seattle, some random year.
It was he had 30 at bats. He was hitting 320, and everyone's
it was 10 for 30,
God. Great. And they traded for Nola, and it was we have a catcher that can hit.
Yeah, and the other thing,
surprise.
What is it? What's his? I mean,
he can't hit.
Yeah, I mean, he's in his mid 30s at this point. He caught every inning last year in the postseason, which is kind of ridiculous.
Can Ethan Salas be called up already?
That's hilarious.
But I mean, it's not really a bold prediction, but it was just a prediction. I said that by the end of the year, Luis Campusano will be their starting catcher. I mean, if his finger isn't like literally like still attached to his hand, yeah.
It's a good point, by the way, Pedro. It's like you're squeezing because, like, you know that it's
can't
desperate because Nola's not coming through. So, like, why not?
It's like we got to try something.
Yep. Interesting here. Tyrod, thank you. By the way, the Tatis outfield assist, Jim had it earlier. He threw that ball 100 miles per hour. It was the hardest thrown ball from the outfield this year.
Yeah.
In baseball. And Tyrod wants to know if we can start talking about Tatis moving to center. Grisham has a hot 3-game stretch and then goes 3 for 50 and repeat. Interesting. You know, we haven't talked about that to start the year. I think it's a very fair conversation if Fernando Tatis Jr. could get time in center field at some point moving forward in his career. I'm not saying necessarily now, but 2024. I mean, he looks like a center fielder. He runs and throws.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to do it because now who are you putting in right? I mean, what gets fixed if Grisham's in right? Who's your other outfield option?
I mean, you just put Tatis in center. You put
Dan right?
No, you put the Gold Glove finalist in right field back in right field.
And who's in left field?
Trent Grisham.
Well, then you just moved. You did nothing.
A Zokar. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for putting Tatis in center and putting Grisham. Bless you.
Change topic.
That's what we have to do when he sneezes. I mean, I'd put him on the bench if I had a better option, you know. And Grisham will do enough to like tease you. He's right. He'll do enough. He'll tease you, and then you look up and you're like, he's hitting 217.
Is he really hitting 217?
Well, he's a great fielder.
I mean, he's hitting what? He's hitting 217. Yeah.
What's his OPS?
His OPS, John, is 738.
Is it okay? So he's hit for some power.
I mean, nothing. I mean, last year was just
awful. What was his OPS last year? Full year.
Full year 625.
Oh, 625?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he's been better. Honestly, you know what? You can plug him in there because he's honestly 100 points better in OPS is actually considerable.
And his 2021 season, after his 2020 season, everyone's like, oh, it's a down year for him because he had a great 60 games in 2020. I would take his 2021 season right now, hitting 240 with a 740 OPS.
Yeah. That's what you're going to get.
With 15 home runs and 62 RBIs.
Yeah, it's as good as you're going to get, right?
And 13 stolen bases. Dude, I would take that in a second. And everyone thought that was a down year for him. That was probably like one of his better years that he'll have in his career.
This is a very important question. Has anyone seen Venus McChicken recently? Because I felt like things were going well.
Yeah.
When Venus was here.
Once Venus was in the chat, things got really good.
And then there's this concept. We've talked about this, like Nola's the least of our problems. Grisham's the least of our problems. Kim's the least of who. So what's the problem? You know what I mean? Like, is it the collective lack of the clutch hitting gene?
Yes.
Is it Manny Machado now? What else? Just the collective lack of hitting the clutch.
It's a team-wide thing with them not being able to hit with runners in scoring position. I mean, they are one of the worst teams in baseball with runners in scoring position.
29th or 30th. I don't know which.
And they've gone 13 games where they've gone 0 with runners in scoring position. Are you fucking kidding me? That's pathetic.
Oh, I meant to click on you need to get the guy who put Crying Kershaw on the video board on the radio show. Most interesting thing all week.
So
Joe
that means we're
Musgrove
going to
spoke on that, by the way.
That means we're going to get Peter Seidler on the show.
Yeah, maybe. Joe Musgrove, by the way, didn't like it going up, which isn't surprising. Players, why would they like that?
I mean, thinking about it, like you have to think, guys. Some rogue person in the Padres production department didn't just decide to put that on the video board.
He didn't go rogue. Of course not.
That would
be amazing if someone went rogue.
That had to have been thought out by
the organization,
the entire organization.
Yeah, they had email sign off on that. Okay,
there is 100% like, hey, we have an idea.
Yeah,
can we do this? And it went to the very top, and maybe not to the top of the food chain with Peter Seidler, but it went to a very high up person. Guarantee it. There's no way that thing goes on the video board without that being signed off on. It's not just some random dude like, let's put a Kershaw meme up. Durka.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I completely agree with that. I do want to remind our viewers about our brand new partner here on the Wrap-Up Show. That is our friends at Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog
UnderdogFantasy.com or download
Fantasy.
the app. You can get a 100% deposit match up to $100 using promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Easiest place to play fantasy sports. You can win 20 times your money in a single night playing daily pick'em, contesting, MLB, or other sports. Get 2 out of 2, win 3 times your money, 5 out of 5, 20 times your money. Get one wrong, you can still win up to 10 times your money. Again, UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code PADSWRAP. A 100% deposit match up to $100. And I should remind you, Jim, look at this. Please be responsible. We're in there somewhere. Here's my gamble responsibly. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy. But again, I'm going to give you some pick'ems right now for
my first time doing.
What's that?
I said I remember my first time doing.
I didn't know how to do it.
Graphics.
And you were like drinking beers and like doing karaoke, and the Warriors won, and everyone's like having a great time.
No.
So here's what I want. Here's what I want from you. Because here's the thing. UnderdogFantasy.com, the daily pick'em stuff is ridiculous. I'm doing this like every single day. There are wins in here all over the place. You can find NBA, MLB, whatever it is, right? So for example, tomorrow, Fernando Tatis Jr. is a pick'em contestant. Okay, you go to UnderdogFantasy.com or you download the app, use promo code PODSWRAP. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100, and you pick higher or lower for Tatis than 8.5 fantasy points. Now, Tatis has struggled a little bit here. So, and it'll tell you how you get a fantasy point. I mean, this is so simple and easy. And you get 2 right, and you win 3 times your money. You get 3 right, and you win more than that. 4 right, you win more than that. 5 right, you win 20 times your money. You can insure it, so you can still get one wrong. And they got daily drafts going on, by the way, every single day. Daily MLB contesting. Everyone loves to draft. And you draft, and then you set it and forget it. So if you want to support a partner, if you're playing daily fantasy, make sure to do it with Underdog Fantasy. And again, use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. What's happening, Jim?
Nothing.
What else? Is there anything else in general?
Same old, same old. Just we're literally pressing repeat on these shows with this.
I know. It's like they have a good game, they have a bad game.
They have a good series, they have a bad series. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. They all are hot. Soto and Manny go off. The next day, no one can get a hit with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, we could talk about you. Were you watching this live, the Carpenter AB? I was when he struck out with the bases loaded. You watching that?
It was just a horrible at bat.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably more of a story that really hasn't been discussed tonight here on the Wrap-Up Show. That's a story. Carpenter and Cruz have had moments. Carpenter and Cruz have also gone through long slumps in these first 6 or 7 weeks.
Can you really count on Matt Carpenter?
You're paying him a combined couple $1 million. I mean, you didn't go out and spend $20 million on your DH.
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping to get something out of these guys at their age, and when you do, it's great. But the majority of the time, you're going to get probably performances like you have lately with these two. Unfortunately, because you're not getting, they're not any younger, and they're not getting consistent playing time. So
right,
because they're going to do the platoon thing, and I like that because you can't run one of these guys into the ground,
right?
But when it's not working, and it's a bad look. But when it's working, it's great. When it's not, it sucks.
Jim, before we get out of here, can you pull up the Wrap-Up Show merch that we've been showing off the last couple of days that a lot of our viewers have been picking up, by the way, recently, and we do appreciate that you guys have been doing that for us. I have a feeling we'll see some stuff at Petco Park over the course of the year. I'll put a link in the chat right now while Jim talks about what is available for our viewers.
Yeah, we got the Good Vibes t-shirts with the sombrero. Wasn't good vibes tonight, but
no.
Overall, since the sombrero was introduced, it's been pretty good vibes. We have the sombrero John and Jim City Connect colors. We have the John and Jim sombrero brown and gold. We have the very famous Affida shirt, if you know, you know. We have the wrap-up show sign, which is behind me every show. Yeah. Shirts. We got the City Connect wrap-up show shirts. Got my head. We got wrap-up show hats. We have wrap-up show stickers. We have John and Jim shirts and sweatshirts, wrap-up show shirts. So we got it all. Literally, if you whatever you want, we have it. So yeah, go check it out. We have crop tops for women. We have women's shirts. We have men's. We have different colors, women's, and all that stuff. So go check it out right now.
Ryan wants to know if Offutt is sold out. No, you would
No.
think. You would think it would be sold out. You would think that, Ryan.
A lot of people have gotten off of their
Yeah.
shirts.
Yeah,
So get yours right now.
I think it might be like the top seller.
And by the way, I forgot to mention this.
But wait, there's more?
Yeah, wait, there's more. You need to get a shirt today if you want to use your 15% off everything code, which you get once you check out. So it expires today at midnight. But as of right now, everything on the website, 15% off.
1-5.
1-5. Go check it out.
All right. So I just put a link in the chat. There's also a link down below in the description on YouTube. There's a few links down there, but if you click down below, you can find it. I also just put it in the live chat. So again, appreciate your support. Oh wait, what do we have here from Anna? Thank you, Anna. I made my City Connect color
into a crop top.
Perfect. First of all, our female viewers are incredible. I feel like our female viewers have bought everything.
Anna, we need like a picture of this shirt. What's going on?
Yes, put it on social media.
If you have social media.
Yes, find us, tag us. I don't know how you find us. How do you find us? We're on Instagram, Twitter.
Very simple. John and Jim.
Okay. That is pretty simple, actually, when you put it that way. It is. I hope Pedro's waiting for the clearance blowout. Well, that's when AM radio goes by the wayside.
Right. When we're fired in the year.
When we're fired. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. By the way, we're on the radio tomorrow, 3 to 6. We always appreciate your listenership on the radio or the iHeartRadio app. We'll hear from Bob Melvin postgame because that game's over by the time we're on. Game's at 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll break down the series. We'll look at the Dodgers. I mean, here we are again. Padres, Dodgers. That's what's coming up. Hopefully they play better. Hopefully they win 2 out of 3 up there. Because if not, same old story. Same old story. Which Joe Musgrove talked about a little bit today. So, yeah, it's a big road trip. It's a big road trip. So, okay, Anna's going to post one tomorrow, Jim.
Perfect.
Cool. Thank you. Seriously. Potentially, Chad. Potentially. Stand by, depending on how they play. Here's the thing with Friday night. Let me forewarn on Friday night. Jim's doing it solo.
And before that, the Warriors game will be on with the Padres versus Dodgers.
It'll be a disaster.
And if both of those teams lose,
well, it might be a little late because it's a good point. Do you know what time the Warriors play on a Friday night? Is it 7 or is it later than that?
It's like 7.
Okay, so maybe what, 9:45? Well, actually, what time's the game? Oh, the Dodgers game doesn't start till 7:10 probably in LA.
There's only one way this is going. Either both those teams win or both those teams lose.
So you could see a drunk Jim situation.
You could see a shit show, yeah. You could see a very upset Jim on Friday night or a very happy Jim on Friday night, whichever way this goes.
I look forward to it. All right, one last plea. You only got a couple of days to vote for us in the Best of UT Readers poll. Only got a couple of days. Okay.
Please vote for us.
If we're not the best sports talk show or the best radio show or the best drive time show, then what are we? Well, we're still John and Jim, and we're still doing the wrap-up show.
We're nothing, actually. We should just quit.
It takes 30 seconds. We don't want to lose the belt. I mean, Jim's always wearing the belt around the office. The best whatever we won last year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wouldn't mind, click the link. It takes 30 seconds to vote. Find us in there. We're nominated in a couple categories. I think 3 of them. Just put an email address in. You're voting for us, and we do appreciate your support. We celebrated with you guys last year, if you remember, when we won that award. I don't know. We were knocking down piñatas or Jim was drinking or the theme of last year was Jim was constantly like taking Jaeger shots like all season.
I was in a dark place last year.
You really were, weren't you?
And then I found Aaron and everything was better.
Yes. Thank you, Aaron. What swingers?
What are you talking about?
All right, guys. What can you say? I mean, they lost 4-3, 19 and 18. Overall. All right, please subscribe. Seriously, if you're a Padres fan, please subscribe. You're here live or on replay, please do that. If you're watching on replay, we appreciate the super thanks. That is a really good way to show your support of this channel. Please follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Please support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. You got insurance needs? Mark is your guy. Link down below. ora.organic. Looking to get healthier with plant-based supplements? Will, their co-founders, is San Diegan. Click the link down below. Underdog Fantasy is the place to be playing daily pick'em or daily draft. contesting. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP, get a 100% deposit match up to $100. All right. Going to add tonight's Soto home run to the video I made for yeah, what was that video that I randomly saw on social media? That was from our buddy James?
It was amazing.
It was incredible. Like, basically, like saying Jim's an idiot, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was incredible, James. Keep up the good work. That's the work we're looking for. All right. For Jim, I'm John. We'll see you tomorrow on the radio, 3 p.m., San Diego Sports 760, iHeartRadio app. Peace.
Bye.